Comedy Now, Uncensored. Starring Jason John Whitehead. Please welcome Jason John Whitehead.
Woo! How you doing? Big show in the big city, huh? This will be interesting. There's cameras and color. Very exciting, man. My mom's even come up from Nova Scotia to hang out for the show. All right, applause for Mom. It's cool, too, because in a big city it can be quite confusing where you can go for lunch, but she brought coupons. So she sorted everything out, man. It's good to see my mom, but she's one of those Canadian mothers that's always worried and backs up all her beliefs with fake statistics. You be careful in Toronto. You know, 2 people from the Maritimes get murdered in Toronto every year. And nobody's been killed yet this year. Think about that, young man. My mom used to tell me that masturbation was wrong and perverse, and that every time you masturbate, your dead relatives are watching. How mental is that? What kind of a way is that for you to find out all your dead relatives are perverts? I'm circumcised, right? Yeah. Right on, circumcised, brother. Celebrate. When I was a kid, I was told it had been done by the rabbi. And now, being quite young at this point, having a little bit of an imagination, and not to mention not being Jewish, kind of led myself to believe that rabbi meant more than one rabbit. Scared to death of rabbits growing up, man. Frightened these furry little fuckers with flick knives are gonna come and finish me off. I mean, not to tell you how much I hated Easter, right? Big ass bunny coming to get me. Scary, man. And I've got a military father, too. Yeah. Woo. It's weird, too, because a lot of people ask me, why didn't you go into the Air Force like your father? And, man, he's got the same voice as me. This is not a military voice, right? It's more like a Shaggy from Scooby-Doo kind of thing going on. I used to go to air shows as a kid, and I hear my father's voice come over the tape. Everybody having fun out there? Just see them flying into battle now. Here come the Canadians! We got choppers falling out of the sky, exploding submarines we bought from the British, and snowballs with rocks in them. You better run for your caves now, you fuckers! I didn't quite like hearing his tales, though. I like this Afghanistan, man. Our troops got set there in military green uniforms. I like that. For anybody who isn't aware of this, Afghanistan is kind of desert-colored. Just as a rough guide. So, our boys requested desert-colored uniforms. The government said, no. We're Canadian. Here's some desert-colored paint. I get quite proud of Canada, man. I like what we do. We don't care sometimes. We don't care about things that other people care about, you know? Like, we got to host a Live 8 concert. Yeah, woo, big time, big concert, you know? 8 really important concerts, actually. Well, there was more than 8, but it was called Live 8. It's a good thing there was more than 8, because we didn't really step up to the plate like everybody else. Every country took advantage of their Live 8 concert, put it in the major city. Joburg, Paris, Philadelphia, you know, so that you know that's where the Live 8 concert is, man. Where did we put ours? In Barrie. I love that, man. Woo! We're the only country that got to host the most important concert of the decade, and we made it sound like we just had it at some dude's house. Out in the woods somewhere. You going Live 8? Where is it at? It's at Barrie, son. Bring your own beer. Yeah, piss in the woods, toilet's busted, but it's always a good time at Barrie, son. I think about that all the time. I think about our boys over in Afghanistan trying to stumble out of the choppers, stuck to each other from the heat. The Americans looking over at us. What the hell are the Canadians doing? Arts and crafts or something? There we were in the Afghan desert, dressed as bushes. And the Americans still killed 10 of us. Unbelievable, man. It's military father, so he traveled a lot when I was growing up, so I was getting posted away and stuff. I think my mom probably didn't want me to go in the military for that same reason, but I ended up traveling the world anyway to tell the little jokey jokes here and there. And I got in trouble, man. You know, everybody gets in trouble for something specific all the time. We've all got the friend who runs into trees. I'm the dude who always gets in trouble in airports, right? My friends hate being around me in airports because something's gonna go down, right? I got in trouble twice in Ottawa Airport recently, and I really like the contrast between the two because the first time was with Canadian security, and then the second time was with the Americans. That's really weird too. Canadian security, one little tiny Korean lady. That's it. American security, 4 massive pissed off dudes. I was trying to figure out why it's the Canadian airport. Why does the Canadians only have one little Korean lady working security? And I thought maybe she's a ninja, right? Maybe she lulls the terrorists into a false sense of security. And then she's able to kung fu them or something. You know. Technically, it was my fault the first time I got in trouble with the Canadians, man. I was coming into the country, but basically it was because my sister has a big box, right? And I had... There's always a couple of people specifically that really like that. Dude, you were like choking over it. Oh, for some reason, that simple pun is going to be your favorite gag. Oh, I know. And your least favorite, I can tell. She had this massive box, right? And I had to, well, she wanted me to pick it up and take it home to Nova Scotia. I said, sure, I can do that. And it got flagged at security. So this little tiny Korean lady is looking at me, and I could see the red light. So I knew. And she starts shaking in her boots. She's looking at me, she reaches for the radio, but in typical Canadian fashion, didn't have any batteries. So yeah, no. Might as well have been just painted onto the desk. So the radio's not working, she's stuck alone with the terrorists now. She'd gone from, oh, lovely Canadian boy, you come home to see your mother. And now she's like, oh, shit. She's looking around, she's trying to wave down people and nobody's noticing. She had to turn to me and go, you are positive. Can you go get my supervisor? At which point, I had to walk across the airport within view of her, find the supervisor, the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, sir, would you mind coming with me? I'm in trouble." So we're walking back to the security bit, and he was asking me stuff, right? He's like, "Can you prove that you are Jason John Whitehead, the comedian? Do you have any evidence or a business card?" And I did, but I had never pictured handing it over in this scenario, because my business card says that I'm a comedian and crime fighter. It doesn't really help diffuse the situation. "Here's my business card." And he was really cool about it. He's like, "Oh, no worries, man. We got a ninja working here." The Americans were worse, man. I could've. All right, this is like a month later, right? Same airport. My journey was very simple. I was going from Ottawa to Manchester in England. I had no business in the States, but I did have a 20-minute stopover. And because of this 20-minute stopover in Atlanta, I had to check into the American side of the airport. Now, thinking nothing of it, I went and bought a Canadian cheeseburger. Yeah, I had to get one, man. I was going to England. Their food is shit. So, I bought my Canadian cheeseburger, I put it in my bag, I put the bag through security, and I'm in the American departure lounge. I pulled out my cheeseburger, and that's when they flanked me, man. 4 massive pissed off dudes, right? And the leader leans over to me and goes, "What you got there, boy?" I was in a good mood, so I was like, it's a hardtack in a bun, man. Not having any of it. He goes, "Are you aware, son, that it is illegal to import beef into the United States of America?" I was like, "Oh, holy shit, dude. It's 1 cheeseburger. It's 20-minute stopover. I'm not even intending to have a shit in your country." Illegally import beef. They weren't very impressed with me. So they hauled me off to their security booth. And this is when it got a bit weird. Because they made me take off my clothes. Yeah. I don't know what they were expecting to find. Just a bunch of beef patties strapped to my body. That's new age terrorism. We were gonna touch down in Atlanta. I was gonna whip off my clothes, run off the plane, hug as many Americans as possible. Hopefully spread some mad cow disease. Oh, you foiled me. They were all quite entertained by having me contained there too, right? Weirdly enough, it's not the most stressful situation I've been in. So has anybody here ever been threatened by a threat? All right, has anybody here ever been threatened, and the threat was so cool you weren't sure whether to shit yourself or congratulate the assailant? This happened to me in Australia, right? We were in a tour van in Australia. We were at a red light, and this dude was going through some road rage, so I found it pretty entertaining. And I'm watching him, and then he clocks me, and he didn't like me at all, right? He came storming over to the van with his fist in the air. "What's so funny, fucker? Huh? What's so funny? What's so funny, huh? What's so funny?" And, like, it's a van full of comedians. So I look around, dude, there's tons of funny stuff. I don't really think you're gonna get it, though. This is when he threatened me. He threatened me, coolest threat I've ever heard in my life. Basically, he threatened to punch me somewhere. But the thing is, he threatened to punch me somewhere that I didn't even know I had. He not only left me feeling threatened, but he left me doing an inventory. places that I could be punched in. 'Cause I've been threatened to be punched before, you know, threatened to be punched in the head or punched in the nuts or punched into next week. This was brand new. Basically, he threatened to punch me in the cunt. Yeah. How cool is that? I was terrified and gender confused at the same time. I actually asked him as he was storming off, I was like, can I use that one? That's cool, man. These security guards, though, at Ottawa, they were tripping now, right? So, because they got me naked, and they're just having fun with me, right? And like patting me down, which makes no sense, because I'm naked. Calm down, son, calm down. Why don't you calm down, son? Well, you got me naked and my food's getting cold. I'm a little bit annoyed. And then he made a joke at my expense that they all thought was hilarious. So he's patting me down and he leans in. He goes, I gotta get mighty close to you here, boy. It don't mean I'm hitting on you. Now his little cronies went, So I felt I had no choice but to defend myself. So I simply said, well, you may not be hitting on me, sir, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna be turned on. Yeah, they let me go straight through after that. I can see the way you're all looking at me now. That look, I recognize that look too. That's that look of, okay, Jay, this is all fine and well with your jokey jokes and your anecdotes, but you seem like the kind of guy who could give us some advice. Well, you've come to the right guy. I've got advice for you all. Because it's going to be important for the rest of this year, not only to save some money, but to also be able to stretch your dollar a little bit further. And that's why, when you go to the strip club tonight, you want to get the deaf stripper. Because there's a slight chance she might not know when the song ended. You just gotta stay into it a little bit. Fake her out, man. She won't know. Anybody thought that was mean because it was a deaf stripper? My friend is a deaf stripper, and she doesn't give a shit that I'm telling that joke. She hasn't heard me tell it, obviously. But she doesn't care. Do we have any gamblers in tonight? Yeah, a few gamblers? Cool. I like a little gamble here and there. I play poker. I'm a fan of poker. I just hate, it's getting really popular in Canada. It's weird. Hockey gets canceled, so comedians start to think, ooh, Canadians will flood back to the clubs a couple years ago. No, you guys all locked yourselves in and played poker. And now we've all got chronic friends. We've all got the chronic friends who think it's a sport. Who think they're training for the World Poker Championships. It's a sport because the mental, the strain and the choices you have to make under pressure. It's not a sport. Rule number one, if you can play it on the internet, not a sport. If that was a sport, I would have a gold medal from track and field in the 80s because of my thumb dexterity. Not a sport. I got one complaint though, if you play online poker, because man, you get to pick that little photo to represent yourself around the poker table. And I don't care what you put up there, you know, put up a picture of yourself, picture of your pet, you know, a sports emblem, that's all cool. But please, ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna be gambling on the internet, do not put up pictures of your children to represent you around the table. I hate staring at a little photo of Timmy, age 6, smiling at me all buck-toothed, fresh from the family barbecue, and watching my money slide across the table a little. And I understand that it's his mother or his grandmother or father, whatever, that's put his picture up there, but it looks wrong. Especially considering you can gamble on the internet in the comfort of your own home. Naked. As I was doing 3 weeks ago when my roommate came home to catch me standing nude in front of a computer monitor with pictures of small children on the screen. And I'm yelling at the thing, come on! I've given you all my money. Now show me what you got. That's right, Don. Ha ha ha. I can tell you what I miss about Canada too. There's a lot of stuff. I miss sports and the people and the nightlife when I'm traveling around, you know, and I miss the black ice. Which is weird, but it's highly entertaining. That should be a sport. Balance over black ice. I suck at sports these days, man. I wish poker was a sport. My only shot. I tried to play squash recently, man, and I realized how you can tell when you really suck at a sport, man. It's not when you just get down on yourself, it's when the person you're playing against starts to cheer you on. It's time to pack it in. But I had to cheer on, I had to cheer on some dude on black ice. I love black ice, it's so entertaining, you know. We haven't found its true value yet. I could get a coffee with my buddy, sit on a bench next to a good patch of black ice, and watch people wipe out all day. It's brilliant, man. Cool spectator sport. There was one dude, though, he was walking towards us, right? He's walking towards us, he's carrying some groceries, walking towards us, he got eye contact. He's like, hey, man, hey. Yeah. And then he hit the black ice, and and it was one of those, like, he didn't go down. Like, I don't know if he had some sort of balance thing going, but the leg just came out. And you could, and he was still sliding forward towards, and you could tell he was fighting to get it back in. You know, but it's not happening. He's moving, and me and my buddy were like looking at him going, commit to the fall, dude. Just commit to the fall, man. You're gonna lose your groin or something. You know, He's like gliding forward on the black ice, and the foot came up a bit, and he landed. It was awesome, what an awesome move, right? But after he landed, he didn't look at us anymore, right? And he knew that we were watching the whole thing. He should have just looked at him. I'm an idiot, right? There was no acknowledgement or nothing. Instead, he just kept walking. But about 10 feet later, he threw in a... Like he was trying to, that's the cool Toronto walk, you know? It's the way we all walk around here, man. Black ice is nothing. I broke my roommate's vibrator. Yeah. No way to warm you in for this one. Yeah, I live with a couple, and they're a kinky couple. Kinky couples, man, just bad to live with. If you're all coupley in here tonight, congratulations on your coupledom. But keep it to yourselves. I was just sick of the annoying coupley people, you know? And that's what my roommates are all, the annoying coupley, like, you just keep looking for her, Jay. You can be happy like us, because we're really happy. Aren't we, Jim? We're so very happy. Yeah, I guess so. And they get in my face. You just keep looking for her. She's out there. You can find her. Just you keep looking for her. I'm sick of looking for her, man. Why isn't she looking for me? This means I haven't even found this chick yet, and I already think she's lazy as hell. Not even in a relationship with her yet, and already I'm doing all the work. You know what I mean? I can't wait to find her. Well, where the hell have you been? I've been looking for you, you lazy cow. Because I've thought a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a thinker. I've thought a lot about the contemporary role of a male in a relationship. And I know a lot of comics of the last generation, they all come up on stage and they'll go, men are different than women, aren't they? Men and women, different. Revelation. I'd like to be the first comic of the new generation to state that in this day and age, men are the new women. Yeah, that's right. Because we think a lot more about the consequences of our actions these days. It's true. We still tend to go through with the actions. But we think more about the consequences. It used to be, am I in trouble? And now it's, I'm in trouble, aren't I? Because we've evolved, man. Yeah. You ladies have evolved too, man. But I broke my roommate's vibrator, man. Yeah, he was pissed off at me. Now, she was really attached to this thing, right? She loved her little vibrator, right? And I didn't realize it till I broke it. But, well, actually, I kind of knew, because you ladies, you have evolved. You sit in my living room and stuff, and I overhear the conversations. Did you get it, Cindy? Oh, the golden rod. I know. Isn't it fantastic? Oh, fits so discreetly in my purse. You know what? The other night I had a shit date. Didn't matter. I just snuck off to the washroom. Little fiddle. It's not fair, man. There's no heterosexual men in here tonight get to do that, you know? You guys aren't gonna go, oh, yeah, you get it, Gary? That rubber vagina, yeah, man. Nice call on that one, dude. Good recommendation. They're a kinky couple. Okay, and here's how it happened. Here's how I broke it, right? Because, well, they weren't home. It's a really bad way to start this story, I know. But okay, so they weren't home. So I was in their room looking for something. I found what I was looking for, and I closed their little chest of drawers, you know. I thought, I'll be on my way. And for some reason, the whole thing started vibrating. And that's when I realized I better get to the bottom of this. You know, I think I want them to get home and see it humping my leg in the middle of the... So I began to investigate. And I opened up the top drawer, nothing. Middle drawer, nothing. Bottom drawer, there he was. Just staring at me with his eye, going for it. It's go time, baby. I didn't even know what this thing was, man. If it had looked like a cock, I would have understood. It's her little toy, right? But this thing, what the hell? Bells and whistles on it? a little light show coming through there. Looked like a cross between an eel and a Fisher Price My First Drum Kit. Looking around and I'm waiting for a song. These things going on. It had two cocks coming out the end of it that it was crawling along on. At one point, it flipped over on its back, and the cock peeked up and looked me in the face. It deserved to die. So I killed it. Couldn't find the switch. Because I didn't want to touch it. All right, I just, so I had to fashion a strategy. Because I would have just turned it off if I could find a switch. But I got 2 DVDs. And I attacked it in a chopsticking fashion. But it was almost like the little dude knew I was coming to get him. So he just kept wiggling out of my maneuvers, He just wiggled out of it, and he was wiggling out of it so much he was introducing other stuff in the drawer to me that I didn't want to see in the first place. I'd attack him. Oh, didn't give me that time, Jay. And guess what else? Here's the anal beads. Woo! So in the end, I grabbed one DVD and I pinned him. And it made me feel a little bit guilty for a second, because earlier he was all full of energy, woo, freedom, and now I got him pinned down and all he can muster is So with my other hand, I just started beating the shit out of him. Killed it. She's livid with me. She's still mad at me, actually, right? And this happened 2 months ago. She was so mad she got a friend to come over and yell at me on her behalf. I had one woman giving me the silent treatment, the other one shouting my ear off. Where is he? Where is he? You bastard. He didn't he, Terry? It was the rampant rabbit, wasn't it? It was the rabbit, wasn't it? You bastard. I was just thinking, damn, foiled by the rabbi again. Get to go a lot of places in this job, man. And I had a weird summer. I did a little Pacific Rim tour, and I was in Hong Kong, and the one lesson I learned while in Hong Kong was this: no matter how well you think you're getting along with a woman into the night, there's never a polite time to ask her if she's a hooker or not. I kept trying to find ways to squeeze it into the conversation, but it was really tough. Oh yeah, I like walks in the park too. Are you a whore? But while I was down there, I went to the coolest bar I've ever been to. I gotta tell you guys this story, man. I was in Manila in the Philippines, and a couple dwarves came to my show, right? And they're really cool. They're acting dwarves, right? And so they were in Lord of the Rings and everything. And we were able to bond, because I wasn't in Lord of the Rings, but I met Sir Ian McKellen, right? He came to one of my gigs. He was hanging out backstage and stuff. So we were trading stories. Because Sir Ian came to my gig. He's a big fan of my comedy. And he's backstage. He's playing with my hair, right? Yeah. And that's when half of me was going, whoa. Gay dude playing with my hair. And then the other half of me was going, fuck it, it's Gandalf. Lord of the Rings. Woo. So my new dwarf buddies, man, they promised me, they're like, man, we're gonna take you to the coolest bar you've ever been to in your life. And they weren't lying, man. They took me, it was all dwarves. All dwarves, man. It was dwarf bouncers, dwarf bartenders, dwarf waiters, dwarf waitresses, and dwarf entertainment. All dwarves. And I'm not lying, you can look it up if you want. It's called the Hobbit House. It's in the Philippines, and it's cool. So we were in there. I was getting a lap dance or giving one. I don't know. Hanging out, ordering shorts, and my friends started getting all cocky, right? Started getting drunk and cocky, right? They were going, man, this is all dwarfs, man. We could fuck this place up. It's all dwarves, man. We could destroy this place. What are they gonna do? They're all dwarves, man. We could fuck this place up. And I wouldn't want to screw with dwarf bouncers, man. The first punch is going to your nuts. On top of it, I'm sure they have some sort of swarming technique where each of them gets a separate part of your body and they forcefully walk you out of there like you're wearing a little people suit. But most importantly, I am a child of the 80s, so I was quite scared that 5 of them could combine to form one massive... Who would kick your ass, man. They're clever too, man. They're selling me stuff. They all sell you stuff. If you go to the Hobbit House, they got lots of Hobbit House souvenirs, right? And they'll all come up to you to offer you T-shirts and everything with Hobbit House written on it. And I really wanted to find something to buy, you know, as a student. And also I think you should buy things from dwarves. Because I mean, if they're selling them. You don't just walk up and go, hey, nice hat. Here's $5. That's mean. Should buy things from dwarves also, because you never know, could be magical. So, I bought this lighter, and she was quicker than me, man, my new friend. I bought this lighter, and she jumped on my lap, and she went, but you shouldn't smoke, it stunts your growth. Beat me to the punchline, man. We needed to go for a little holiday afterwards, man. After this Pacific Rim tour. I like going on holidays. I like running into Canadians. I don't like this joke overseas when, like, you know, Americans are always like, you guys wear the maple leaf on your backpack so everybody thinks you're not American. Well, that's not true. They don't know our country that well. They don't know how massive it is, right? We wear the maple leaf so that we know when somebody else made it out of the woods, we can congratulate them. Like, oh my God, you did it, you did it. Welcome. You know? I was having a drink with an American in Holland a while back, and he's sitting there, and we're both getting drunk, but I didn't need this stupid question to come out. He goes, oh, you're from Canada. I was like, where? And I said, Nova Scotia. He goes, oh, I know a guy from BC. His name is John. Do you know him? Canada boy? I always like to indulge them and go, oh yeah, John from BC. We live on the same street. It's called the Trans-Canada Highway. I don't get to see him much. He lives 7,000 kilometers up the other end. I'll let him know you said hi. So it was time to go for a little holiday. And me and the boys, we chose to go to Orlando, right? And which is really cool. I guess we wanted to go theme parking. Now, I'm about to tell you guys something. Because behavior can get misinterpreted. I mean, things can get misinterpreted all the time. Like, I got a rock emblem tattooed on my arm here, but it's just a little dude, you know, with his arms outstretched. He's quite clearly had a visit from the rabbi, you know. Sometimes people walk up to me, though, and they're like, is that a Nazi emblem? That's a lovely question to field frequently. No, it's not a Nazi. Does anybody else think it looks like a Nazi emblem? No? Thank you. Thank you, Canadian audience. I love this for that. Can everybody see it okay, though? All right, can you see it? Not at the back? All right, can you see it better now? It's never my intention. And my friend gets on my case too. She's like, you're just gonna regret that when you're old and you're sitting in a nursing home. You're gonna regret that. And there's stuff I regret at this point in my life already. I think a little bit of ink on my arm isn't gonna faze me at all. If I'm old and sitting in the nursing home, I think I'll be regretting other shit, like the fact somebody checked me into the nursing home. Misinterpreted. So before I tell you guys this story, I want to be clear that I do not advocate the behavior that takes place in this story, even though it was me. Because you guys have been really cool, so I'm going to tell something that might offend you. Right, so we're hanging out in Orlando, right? Bunch of pale, pasty comedians, right? Hanging out in Orlando. We got quite drunk. And what do you guys think 5 sunstroked drunk comedians are gonna do if at 4 o'clock in the afternoon they arrive at Dr. Seuss's Islands of Adventure? I'll tell you what we did. We pretended to be retarded. Now, like I said, I do not advocate this behavior, but I feel comedians have a responsibility to tell what goes on in society. Meaning us. We did, and we were really good at it too. We got to go on the Cat in the Hat ride like 3 times in 20 minutes, right? Just skipping the lineups, right? Little 6-year-olds are getting pissed off at us. We're like, screw you, little Timmy. You know, you learn how to act, man. And tell your mom she sucks at poker. So it was awesome. We took total advantage, right? We went back to our hotels, and we were not proud. Once we discussed it, we were not proud of how we had behaved. We still laughed until like 4 in the morning, but we weren't proud. We even discussed like maybe we should make it up to society. Maybe we should do some sort of charity or give something to a disabilities charity. But you'd be amazed at how hard it is to find a deaf stripper in Orlando. So we all discussed it, we agreed, okay, tomorrow we're gonna get up, we're going theme parking again, but we're gonna be responsible tourists. We're not gonna pretend to be retarded. And the plan was really straightforward. We're like, okay, we're going to the water park in the morning and Disneyland at night. Really good, okay? And we're gonna behave ourselves. But it was almost like the higher power was watching us. Because my buddy Seymour, who was like so good at it the night before, he got like free bag of candy, right? He was awesome, but it's like this higher power must have been watching, because Seymour, while in the wave pool that morning, breaks his foot, right? It's like, yeah, the higher power just going, you were pretending to be retarded last night, weren't you? Shabam, broken foot for you, you idiot! So Seymour's miserable now, right? He's like miserable, his holiday is ruined, he just wants to go home, go back to the hotel, but I was like, screw you, dude. We already bought the tickets for Disneyland. You're getting in the wheelchair. And we're going. So we took Seymour to the medical clinic, and they gave him a whole ton of drugs. And then we gave him a whole bunch more. Seymour slumped over in the wheelchair, drooling on himself. We're pushing around Disneyland. All these fat Americans are looking at these skinny little pasty boys, thinking, well, they're not healthy. And I wasn't doing anything to help the situation either. I'm parking Seymour in the corner and stuff. And I was going, and we'll let you come out when you know what you've done wrong. All the Americans are running over and going, you shouldn't treat your special friend like that. That's not very nice. But the kicker is this, right? Because I was the most vocal of the group, so the Americans were starting to assume that we were all Canadian, right? But we weren't. We were a mix of all kinds of nations, and Seymour's from Northern England. So he's yelling back at us in this really thick accent that was baffling the Americans because they were assuming that we were Canadian. He's like yelling back, "Stop doing this to me!" You know? And they hear this thick accent, so all the Americans started to assume he was retarded. He got another free bag of candy and a kiss from Snow White. cool to hang out with you guys and do this, man. I'm looking forward to doing this because it kind of exists as a little time capsule of your career. So I can go away and get fat and stuff now, and, you know, which is really good for me because I got tons of, like, you know, self-deprecating fat jokes and balding material that I've never used. So I intend to capitalize on that. Been nice hanging out with you guys, man. My name is Jason John Whitehead. Have yourselves a good time in the meantime. Let's get on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason John Whitehead.